I got really, really mad. Wow, this is a different side of you, Anna. I'm gonna rant again. Then your nails are going to be crap for, that is a hugely, hugely bad idea. That your body is gonna get annoyed. Maria, you ask such good, complicated questions. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Anna. How are you? Oh goodness. Hey Rhea. This must be a great time for you because you consistently make it and I love it. And Rhea, I'm gonna get you to chime in because I'm gonna rant again. You guys, you will not believe this. Okay, so last week, you guys know, those of you who are on it, hey Michelle, that I got really, really mad. And people were like, wow, this is a different side of you, Anna. Guess what? I have a mom voice. Anyway, I don't know what happened. The technology gods were playing. And so I pushed save on Instagram so that it should save to my phone. And it did not. It looked like it did, but it did not. And then I get a message from my best friend the next day, and she said, where's the live recording over on Facebook? And I was like, I don't know, because I pushed post over on Facebook. So anyway, it didn't. So yeah, like I had no saving of anything. And I could have done a screen record of it in stories, but it only lasts for 24 hours. And she let me know an hour after that. So I was like, yeah. Anyway, so this is like a big deal, this conversation that I had last time. So any of you who are professional nail techs, please chime in. Okay. Hey, Kathy over on Facebook. Hey, Kelsey. Kathy's one of our team members. She does all kinds of amazing things with numbers and makes sure that we don't run out of product. So she is actually I kind of like pull out some of our team members and they're all awesome. They really are. Okay, so let me see if a couple of questions. Hey, my honey joined. Hi, Mirka. Thanks for, you know what? Thanks when you guys have an interesting Instagram or Facebook name. I love it when you tell me your real names and then I can like try and remember because there's a lot of you. So good to see some of you who haven't been here in a while. Rhea says it's 9 o'clock where she is and I want to say Sweden. There's so many of you. I try and remember where y'all are on the planet, but how cool is that? So cool that so many of you get to join me. It's 11 o'clock for me, as many of you know. 8 o'clock for Maria in her country. 8 p.m. I'm guessing. Yeah, 8 p.m. Okay, so let's see. Maria said she and I have been direct messaging and she says, thank you for the nail tips. It's been helping. Good. So happy. Finland. That's close. Ria's over in Finland and she is she loves horses like I do. Okay. So big news for me this week as of yesterday. I'm not very, very happy about it. Man, another thing to be kind of grumpy about. As many of you know who've been following me forever, I love fancy fantail goldfish. And I've graduated over the years and I now have a 125 gallon tank. And I've gotten really, really good over the last 8 years-ish at learning how to keep my water good. Because fish keeping is really about water keeping. And when you keep the water right, fish stay alive. When you screw up, fish die. Well, when we moved to this property, there's a little bit more ammonia in the water. It's okay to drink, and it goes through a whole big old giant property filtration system. But what comes out of the sink. So most of it's pulled out, but there's just enough to make fish sick. And so I have lost, now this is because I bought 6 and I am now down to 3 or about 7. Anyway, this is the second fish now I've lost to dropsy. And what that is when strange, fish can retain water. So there was something that happens, whether it's bacterially or bad water or their gut gets all blocked up, whatever. Anyway, they retain water, they puff up like a little puffer fish, their scales go whoop, and they die. So I'm not very happy about that. Anyway, I'm working on figuring that out. Okay, so that's my grumpiness. So all of you who are asking to join, if you're waving, yay. I could sit there but I'm waving back. Okay, so I am not going to open this one up because I want the recordings to save. Can I please get them to save? In fact, we are backing up again. My best friend, our marketing manager, she is also recording this on her computer screen. So cross all our fingers. Brittany says hi over on Facebook. Kelsey says her Instagram is puppy paws and polish. And we've chatted about the video because at least I caught it before it disappears. Kelsey, were you the one that got all mad and has a sister? Are you talking about it? Anyway, real quick, Maria says, I have a nail-related question. I want to grow out my nails, but they keep breaking even though I use nail oils. What can I do? Maria, you ask such good, complicated questions. And I know for you, because we've been chatting, I need you to send me a picture because I need to know whether your nails are flat, like your C curve. Do you have a strong C curve like me, or are they flat? And if they are flat, for those of you who know, so if they have a very weak C curve rather than one that's really tight, nails tend to tear right along the sides because whenever they're pushing against something or these outer forces that happen on the sides, the nails just go, yeah, I'm done. No. And which is actually the body's response to broken nails. It's the appropriate thing through the millennia of humans existing, is that when we're doing things with our hands, and if we do something that breaks our nails, we don't want it to rip the entire fingernail off. So the body's normal response and the growth pattern of the nail cells is to tear across this way so that you don't lose your entire nail. So this is why especially flatter nails will tear, but curved nails will tend to break more. And when they do tear, they tend to tear deeper. Kind of depends on where, let's see how close I can get. It depends on where your nail actually starts to detach from the nail bed over here towards the sidewall. So anyway, let's see. So Maria, real quick, she has complicated nails. Yes, some of us really do. They have a C curve, but a loose one. So I'm guessing that that's probably what's going on. It also depends on the thickness of your nail plate. It depends on how much stress you're going through. And if you're going through a very stressful period in your life, then your nails are going to be crap for, oh, I said that. Your nails are just going to be a mess for several months because, as many of you know, learned, it takes from the cuticle line to you're just leaving your nail bed takes about 4 months for the average person. For those of you who, if your nails grow really slow, it's going to take longer. For those of you who have zippy, crazy growth nails, it's going to take less time. So, okay, I'm going to get into this rant again. And the reason that I'm going to do it again is because, and hopefully I will stay a little more calm and collected this time. I got a little crazy last week. Is because this is really, really important and I need to get it out there and I need to have it recorded. I need to have it on YouTube. So I'm going to do it again. And so those of you who were with me last week, go get a cup of coffee or something and or just hang out with me again. Okay, so, oh, wait, before I get started, two things. Two things I'm supposed to talk to you guys about. Okay, so I want to remind you guys of the contest that we've got going on. It's almost over. It will end at the end of this month, and it is a nail art prompt contest like no other. It's called Art Inspires Art. And this month, what we're doing is being inspired by Mrs. Colorberry, and she does resin geode art, little all the way to really, really, really big wall pieces, and she does side tables, and it's just amazing, amazing. And her color theory is spot on. And so what I wanted to do was have you guys be inspired by her artwork to do on your nails. Some people have like replicated the geode look, and some people have done completely their own style, but been inspired by the color schemes that she's using. So I want you to do whatever you want, just have fun with it, and follow the directions in my account, do all of the tagging properly, and it is a random draw winner. We will be giving away 3 mini hydration kits, and Mrs. Colorberry is giving away one of her cheese boards. And I got a sneak peek at one of them. Actually, two of that she'll probably decide which one. They're so pretty. So join, please. Even if you think you're terrible, you've never done nail art, just try. Just do some dots on your nails, whatever. Have fun. Okay. Kelsey was about mentality. Yeah. Okay. So, and then the other thing is, finally, I have been wanting to do this product for 6 years. And so we finally have come out with our Acetone Additive. And this has the wrong label, but here's what it's going to look like. So it comes in the glycerin part of it kind of separates to the bottom, and then our oil, it's got our yummy oil, that will separate, but when you shake the heck out of it, it goes back together. But what you're going to do is you're going to take the whole thing and dump it in 8 ounces of acetone. And what that does is the glycerin is a humectant. And it's very tough. It's a lot tougher for acetone to dissolve it. And so it stays on your hands when you're using your acetone, because as many of you know, acetone removes polish the fastest. It's the fastest working solvent. And so it's less drying, but still does the job. It still sucks the oil and moisture out of your skin and your nail plate. And so this is so cool because you don't get that chalky blah, your chalky skin, and when after the acetone evaporates, it smells and it feels like you've oiled your nails with our awesome oil. So you're gonna love, love, love that. That is now live. It's available, and it's $4.50. I think $4.49, maybe. But anyway, go to the website, check it out. And yes, this will be included in our sale coming up mid-July. All right, are we ready? Rant. Okay, here we go. Let me find my notes. I'm glad I saved them from last week. Okay. Okay, there is a YouTuber, and I'm not going to say her name, but many of you figured it out last week. And she has about 35,000 followers. She's a professional cosmetologist, I guess say. She has her own, or works at a salon. She does hair, and she does nails, and all kinds of stuff. And she's got some really cool videos, except for this one. This one really, really, really made me mad because people are going to do it and think it's a good idea, and it's a hugely, hugely bad idea. And what she recommends is how to make your own gel polish by mixing gel. So we know it comes in a little pot, and it's sticky, and the gel. She mixes gel with regular polish, and she's not a chemist. And the thing that makes me so mad and I'm gonna jump forward, is that somebody direct messaged me, one of our followers, and I was thinking, oh, I'll say her name, but no, I'm gonna protect her identity unless she wants to chime in. But like 5 minutes before she caught the replay in her stories on Instagram, she had seen this video and she direct messaged me. She's like, oh my God, Anna, all caps, she was so mad. And I'm like, yeah, now you know how I feel. And her sister is a professional nail tech. And so she told her sister about this, and her sister was like, oh, that's a bad idea. And her sister wouldn't even watch the video. It's that bad. So, okay, let me go back to my notes. So she was recommending mixing gel. And so you take your gel base coat, top coat. I don't remember which one. Doesn't matter. And she was mixing at 50-50 percentage, half and half, with regular polish. And the theory is, don't go out and buy a bunch of colored gel polish. Use all the polishes that you already have so you can have your own color. No. So she says several things that really, really made me mad. And this is why I want to go through these things, and I want you guys to see how I think, and how I process this stuff so that it can help you guys when you're out there with the zillion nail art and nail care videos. And a lot of them are very, very bad information. So I want you to be able to go to these videos and look at them and go, yeah, you are giving very, very bad advice and you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so she mixes these and she says it's completely cured and perfect. And I'm like, she has no freaking idea if it's perfectly cured. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into gel, and the chemistry of the gels and how well the base coat gel and the color gel, so base coat gel, color gel bonds to the base coat, top coat of the top coat gel bonds to the color, or it could bond to the base coat. That's fine. Okay, you could skip the color if you want, but these things are made to bond together. And then the company also comes out with its own curing lamp, and it is made to go with the products that they've created, because all of this is so complicated. You can, and this is something that Doug Schoon, author of Nail Structure and Chemistry, Product Chemistry, My Nail Bible, he says, what was it? Dang it, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. Oh, yeah. He says, it is highly possible, highly probable to undercure gel and to overcure gel. And, okay. And so what happens a lot of times is when you're using a curing lamp that isn't formulated to work with the product, it is highly possible that you're going to undercure it. And then the response is, well, if I don't want to undercure it, so let me just hit that button again, and so that it cures twice. And that'll make sure that it cures properly. Bull. Blank. No, you can't do that, because now you're going to overcure it. And what that does is it leads to allergy, that your body is going to get annoyed, and you're going to get your high probability of getting an allergic response. And once you are allergic to gel or acrylic, and they're very closely chemical structure, wow, I can't talk today. The chemical structure of them is very closely related, but not identical. So if you become allergic to gel, you're most likely going to be allergic to acrylic also. And the new hybrid one, I forget what it's called, but you guys know it. I know you're starting to see it. That hybrid is just sort of a combination and a mixing of the ingredients of gel and acrylic, so that you get the flexibility of gel, but you get a little bit more of the hardness of acrylic, which, and I don't like the hardness of acrylic, and I could go on about that one too. But it could be a really, really good product. Don't know. I haven't seen enough. It hasn't been on the market and people trying it long enough for me to start seeing the broken, destroyed, bloody nails that happen when, especially with acrylic, when acrylic breaks, it's going to take you a whole bunch of your nail with it, especially if they've ground down 50% of your nail plate or more. It's going to take, if that breaks, it's going to take a whole bunch of your nail plate with it. And you are going to be in a world of hurt for a long, long time. So it's very, very important that we find really, really good nail professionals to apply these. They know what they're doing. They've gone to school. The really good ones continue with education from the companies that manufacture the products. So all of this takes time, and you can't just wing it. All right, let me go back to my notes. So that was the biggest thing. If the biggest takeaway, the only takeaway that you get from this is don't be a chemist unless you have a degree in chemistry. And even then, you get into all of the sciencey stuff and you've got to do a ton of testing. There's a reason. There's a reason that products end up in research and development, R&D, for at least a couple of years, because you have to test things. You have to decrease the variables. You have to test it and then test it again, and then do a new formula and test that and test it again, and back and forth, which is why there's a couple of products that I'm developing and it's taking me forever. Because I have to keep testing these things back and forth. And then I work with my mother, who's our chemist, and she sends me a new formulas and I have to test those for a while. And then I say, well, I like this and I don't like that. So please go back to the drawing board, start over, take this data, do it again. Okay. She's not a chemist. Okay. Then there's a couple of things that she says, which are really false, which surprises me that it's coming from a nail tech. And this goes back to when Doug Schoon talks about that, and it's really very sad. When you go to a nail school, most of them spend probably, I think it was something ridiculously small, like 4 to 6 hours on nails. Just the nail structure and learning about the palette that you're actually building these products on. They don't know where the cuticle is. They don't know what the eponychium is. They don't know what the proximal fold is. All of these things. And when they're taught the cuticle, they're taught that it's this tight band of skin back here. No, it's not. It's the dead skin on the nail plate. That's why you should remove the cuticle, because polish and nail enhancements, they do not bond to dead skin on the nail plate. That's the cuticle. So, and then we get into the clipping of the proximal fold. But anyway, they're spending just a few hours learning about nails. And then they spend the rest of the months learning about product chemistry, how to mix these things, how to be safe in a salon with all of the ventilation and all of the things, and how to do it right. And to do acrylic especially is an art. It takes a long time to get that perfect blend of the liquid and the powder, which is the monomer and the polymer, to blend those together so that you get a cohesive product that behaves the way it's supposed to. And one of the biggest things is don't mix in the different brands. Don't go with one brand of monomer and don't go with another brand of polymer. You have to do the things with what the company gives you. So you pick your favorite company and you go with it. That's the one where you invest in all of those products. Don't invest in a whole bunch of other things. So this is the people who are nail professionals. And I know that Ria agrees with me way over in Finland. And I don't know what the education is like in other countries. I just know what it's like in the United States. And the sad thing is that Doug Schoon's book, which should be the textbook, is not. And so he's contributed to the well-known, typically used textbook, but there's still things in there that are not quite good enough. And technology changes and education changes. Like when I first started teaching about this, we thought that this was the proximal fold of the eponychium. Well, no, now we've gotten enough microscopic pictures and stuff. The eponychium is actually that bottom layer of skin at the bottom of the matrix. And so I think that's what turns into the cuticle. So as the nail plate is growing, that becomes that. So we really can't see the eponychium anymore. And they're calling this whole area that covers the matrix the proximal fold. So stuff changes, and unfortunately that instruction manual has not. And unfortunately there's a lot of instructors who've been teaching way too long, and they aren't keeping up with all of the technology and the new knowledge and all of the things. So okay, I hope I finished that whole train of thought. Okay, so yeah, okay, I did. So one of the things she says after doing the curing is that you should put oil on. And yes, that part she's right. And then she says you should add oil because gels are porous. Okay, she's kind of got that. Because everything on the planet, you stick it under a microscope and you're going to see holes. Everything, it has holes in it. It's not solid. We think of, I'm looking outside and I've got horse fencing and I'm looking at my house and looking at 2x4s and you go, oh, that's solid. No, it's not. You look under the microscope, it's got holes. So she says, yes, it's porous. Your gel is porous. Is your gel porous enough? Are those holes big enough so that oil molecules can penetrate? Maybe, maybe not. Certain oils, I believe, because of personal experience, I believe that, especially jojoba, it's small enough that it will go into the top surface of your product. And what it does is it reduces the premature cracking. So it keeps your product a little bit more flexible, more like when it was originally applied, and it hasn't started, because everything dries out. Everything dries out and gets wrinkly, just like people. But when we put the oil and the moisture back, things get better. So by keeping oil on your product, it helps keep it from drying out as quickly. So, okay, so she sort of got that part right, but then she said, putting oil on will penetrate through the gel and moisturize your nail plate. No, because those holes aren't big enough. It cannot get through all the way through the product that has been cured. So it has smaller holes. It has a tighter molecular structure. And then it's not going to get through down to the nail plate, which is why when we say to do the 3-day with Bliss Kiss products, the 3-day get naked challenge, you have to do it naked. Yeah. You know, not without clothes, but without polish. And you've got to have your natural nail plate exposed so that the oil can actually penetrate. Okay. Then she says, gel crumbles with acetone, which means that acetone cuts through the gel because it's porous. All right. Any of you who have tried to remove gel without actually sanding off that shiny surface of the gel will discover that acetone will not dissolve it. It will just stay there. And 45 minutes later, you will have gel that has not dissolved. You have to remove that shiny surface, which of course, tighter molecular structure, that's what keeps it nice and shiny and tight and prevents water from getting in. Okay, so you have to remove that shiny surface so that more of the open molecular structure and actually the acetone can penetrate and then dissolve the product. Okay. Okay. So then she says nails need oil to hydrate and condition them. Correct. But the process, saying that gel is porous because when you dissolve it with acetone, that's why your nails can absorb oil, that is A plus B does not equal C. And this is also a problem with somebody who's trying to describe something that's working, but she has no clue about actually why it's working. And so what she's doing is educating the wrong way. That drives me nuts. And Doug too. It really does. It drives him nuts, which is why I feel so blessed that he endorses my writing. And I've got over 90 articles at nailcarehq.com. I'm starting to write some that are more product related over on my blisskiss.com so that you can understand the problems that are happening with your nails and which of our products will help you. But over at nailcarehq.com, my focus is to educate you and not necessarily say, okay, you have to use a Bliss Kiss product. You don't. There's several other products that are very good. I believe that ours are better, but you still can get very good results with other products. We're not the only one on the market, and that's okay. I think, we don't all use just one shampoo and conditioner. We like variety. We like to be able to pick and choose what we want. That's a good thing. It also, competition in the marketplace actually makes certain companies better. And that's what we strive to do, is like, a lot of times I'm not first to market with a product. And a lot of business gurus say you should not start a product that nobody else sells because you don't know if it's going to sell. Go find something that's already selling and do it better. And that's what we do at Bliss Kiss, is like, this is a problem that Anna has and we need to solve Anna's problem. Yeah, it's kind of selfish, but I know that when I solve my own problem, I'm going to solve the problem for a lot of you too. And that's why it's so important to me. And that's why we believe this mission that we've created, which is to create life-changing products with an exceptional customer experience. And my team lives into that every day. And so many people have said, your company offers the best customer service I've ever experienced. And that's because we will bend over backwards to make you happy, even if that includes a refund. So anyway, there we go with that. I'm going off all over the place today. Okay. Then she says, when you have done a gel service on your nails and your nails look white and chalky, like they've been bruised, this is usually if you have a bruised nail, and it will get little white lines. That's because your nails are very dry and need hydration. Okay, she's all over the place with this. And I want to talk to you about why. So first she says, your nails look white and chalky. They look white and chalky. If they're going to look white and chalky, that's because of acetone. That is not because you've just done a gel service on your nails. They should not look white and chalky. Okay, then she's talking about, well, okay, then it's if you've got a bruised nail and you get those little white lines. That is correct. That is actually, so when you get those little white lines that you have no idea why they're there, it's because you hit your matrix way back here, and the nail cells then were damaged, and so they stay white and don't turn transparent when they go onto the nail bed, where you can see it. So the reason that you don't know why you have them is because you whacked your finger way back here. And it's funny because now when I whack my hand and if I whack that matrix area, I'm like, well, there's a bruise in the next couple of months. And it takes about 6 weeks to 8 weeks for that damage to grow out where you can actually see it. It takes a couple of months. So you've completely forgotten what the heck you did. And that's how the nail bruises happen. It's not how many boyfriends you're going to have or how many husbands you're going to have or all of the other myths, which are funny. Actually, when you hear them, they're quite funny. Okay, so you get the bruised nails, and then the next thing she says, that's because your nails are very dry and need hydration. No, you get the bruise because it happened months ago, not because your nails need oil and hydration. That's a completely different reason. You do need the oil because we wash our hands way too much. And we use hand sanitizers way too much. That's that's basically alcohol, rubbing alcohol. And so that's taking the oils and the moisture out of your skin and your nail plate. This is why our nails need a good high quality jojoba wax ester based nail oil. And you want, when you're choosing a nail oil, you want jojoba as your first ingredient, maybe your second. But I have found so many times where people are like, I've been using this oil and I've used now your oil and it works so much better. Why? And then I go back and I look at the ingredients, and what's weird is that almost consistently every single one of those has almond oil in it, which I'm allergic to, which is how the whole company started, because I needed to create my own nail oil because every oil had almond oil in it. And it's a good oil. It really is. But it's a cheap oil. And that's why it's used in so many nail oils. So anyway, okay. I keep going all over the place. I was a lot more focused last week, but I think I'm being a little bit more thorough this week. So all of that happened, and then I was so mad that I called Doug Schoon, and I try not to call him because I know he's hugely busy, and he's dealing with hundreds of people a day, and he still has his normal job on top of that of being a scientist and working with big companies and making sure, helping them create really good products and blah blah blah, and he'll test different products to make sure that they're not going to be damaging, and there's a whole boatload of stuff that he does that I don't even know. And then he deals with all of the people on Facebook and all of the questions from his video series, and which is great, by the way. And so I know that I shouldn't bother him very much. And so it's like, it's got to be a big deal if I call him. So I picked up the phone and I'm like, hey, Doug, you got a minute? Because I'm like, I got to get this done in 1 minute. And we ended up talking for about 3 or 4. But I was like, Doug, I just saw this and I'm so mad because she's advising this and she's a nail professional. And he was so nice and calm. I'm like, and because so I can tell he deals with this a lot. And he said, basically, not so many words, but basically she's playing with fire. He said it's a really bad idea. You cannot mix different chemical structures of things that have been created to work a particular way, and then you go and mix things and you screw things up. And so he was just calm and very diplomatic. And he said, if she's not a scientist, she should not be doing this because it increases, as I talked about earlier, it increases the likelihood of allergies. And he was like, when you become allergic, it's forever. Not just for a little while, it's forever. And you don't get to just take a 10-year break and come back to it. No, it's forever. And so this was the thing that I didn't think about, is that she's liable because she's giving this advice and she's saying that it's a good idea. She's actually, so then if you take her advice and you do what she says and you get an allergic allergy, good job, Anna. You have an allergic response. You could try and sue the companies and say, your product screwed up my nails and now I'm forever ruined. And the companies will say, well, you didn't use our products properly. The lawyers will. And they'll be like, it'll be kicked out so fast because you didn't use their products properly. You have to follow the manufacturer's directions. Everything that, like, so many times people ask all of these questions of Doug Schoon, and he's like, follow the manufacturer's directions. follow the manufacturer over and over and over. And I'm like, wow, okay, a lot of people don't follow the manufacturer's directions. Okay, so this was the other thing. And then a couple of other people chimed in and were like, so now if you can't go after the companies, guess who you can go after? You can go after her. And she doesn't realize that she could have a boatload of people suing her. So there's kind of like, honey, I want to protect you. I'm trying to, and other people went in and made comments on that video, and they're like, if you're not a chemist, this is a bad idea. And here's her response. This made me mad again. She said to this person, I am a nail professional, and I have been doing this for years, and there have been no problems, and you should get your facts straight before you give your opinion. And I was like, oh my gosh, she isn't even getting it. She's not getting it. And she just does not understand this. And for me, it's like, oh, well, let's just make a gun and hope that the barrel is not pointed at you instead of out there. And it's almost like, in a way, sort of Russian roulette. Yeah, yeah. Okay, put in one bullet, spin it, and hope that you don't die. Okay. Am I done yet? Oh yeah, I'm not done yet. So then I'm like, I should see if anybody else has done any videos like this. And there was, so I'm not going to go into it, but this gal was the one of like, I'm a little bit paranoid for mixing this and doing, so I'm just going to put it in the lamp for twice because I'm a little bit paranoid. Guess what? She's over curing it. Bad girl. So actually I'm now, when I look in different keywords in YouTube, I'm actually finding more and more of them. And here's another thing. So I'm starting to stumble on more and more videos that have been made by people who are not nail professionals. And they're teaching you how to do your own gel nails at home or how to do your own acrylic at home. Okay. Only go to the videos who are by nail professionals. And even then, you're playing with fire because, again, unless you learn all of the stuff and learn about the chemistry and learn about these things and the possible problems that you can create, you're opening up yourself for allergies and allergic response. And I've actually seen that in a couple of people who have joined our Facebook groups. We have a couple of support groups. One is for people who bite their skin and nails or pick at their skin. Me, perfectionist picker. You wouldn't know it, but I pick at all of this little skin that's on the sides. And so we have that one. Actually, go to, if you want to join, myblisskiss.com/healthy nails. The angle goes that way, and the / and anybody who's dealing with skin issues like psoriasis, eczema, go to myblisskiss.com/healthy skin. And we have the most amazing members who are completely supportive. It just blows my mind. We've had the groups for over a year, and there has not been one negative comment. None. So they're really, really good, safe places. But we have somebody who, Laura, she had such a bad allergic response to her gel that her skin just sort of fell apart. And it took many days of doing intensive hydration treatments with our oil and our lotion stick and our nitrile gloves. And I love these gloves because, one, they're pretty, but they're 30% thicker than other nitrile gloves. And so these are actually reusable compared to other ones. They're made for the chemotherapy medical industry. If you have to deal with chemotherapy drugs and touching them. And so they are formulated, created to last for 4 hours before those products, those chemicals will cause these to fail. So it makes them great for doing intensive hydration treatments. And she basically did them 24 hours a day for, I don't know how long, I can't remember. But it took a long time for her skin to heal. That's what an allergic response can do. It's just, it can be just a little bit of redness and irritation. It can be burning. It can be your skin falling off. So this is not something to play with. It's a lot easier just to play with regular polish, in my opinion. Which is why you won't see me teach about gel or like how to do your own gel, or you will not find me teaching about acrylic, because I personally am clueless about how to do acrylic right. And as much as I love you guys who want me to like go to nail school, do it, I actually don't want to do the amount of hours, one, for the training, and I don't want to sit in and do that all day long. I don't want to be doing other people's nails. I like doing my own nails. Again, slightly selfish. And I really, really enjoy writing. That's where I'm passionate. I love learning all kinds of stuff, totally geek out, all of that. And I've always been really good at simplifying complicated stuff. And if I don't understand the complicated chemistry stuff, I go to Doug Schoon, and I also go to my mother, who's also a chemist, and I pick her brain, and she's telling me stuff over and over and over again. And part of me is like, I should go take chemistry. But then see, I don't have time because I'm writing for you guys and running a business and creating stuff. And that's where my passion is. And I'm always looking for new products that are going to make things better, make the whole process, the whole complicated process of doing our nails and taking care of ourselves. That's, if you actually think about all the steps that it takes to go from start to finish, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that we do to take care of ourselves. So I want you doing it the right way, because then it takes a lot less time. It's a lot more enjoyable. Your manicures last a whole lot longer. You get oodles, especially when you're doing nail art, you get tons of positive reinforcement. Oh my gosh, you're so awesome. You're so talented. It's like, yes, I am. But I also have friends all over the world who teach me how to do these things. So that's what's really cool about social media. Did I cover everything? Yes. So overall, big rant. Gosh, I took longer this time. I'm sorry. But this is why I do what I do, because I don't want you guys getting hurt. I don't want you to believe all of this crap that's out there, that people who are not qualified. Some people would say, well, Anna, are you qualified? Well, yeah, because I've spent years, hang on, hold please. I have spent years, let me drop all the things, studying these books. As you can see, this is my product, nail structure and product chemistry. Bazillions of little notes. And I've got stuff highlighted. I'll find some highlighting stuff. Highlighted like crazy so that I can actually, and a lot of my articles, I have taken bits and pieces from lots of different chapters to put things together so it's easier to understand, because Doug Schoon writes this like a college textbook. He's a scientist, and so it's written like a science college textbook. And so in a lot of ways it's like, I just want to know why this thing. Well, you got to go read a whole lot of chapters to figure it out. And then he's got 2 new books, actually 3. I haven't gotten the last one. So this is, I read them, I write about it, and you can teach yourself, but it takes thousands of hours, thousands. So that's what I have done. So in that way, I sort of feel like I've created my own master class. And I think my thesis paper was the one when I did a study. It's, I think, the longest article I've ever written on nail biting. And boy, that one has like 46 or 51, I don't remember the number, citations of all of these different articles or scientific studies that have been done about nail biting and stuff. And I thought it was really interesting that they said nail biting is not related to anxiety, but then anybody that I interview and I ask them, why do you bite your nails? And it's like, it's either anxiety or it's boredom. Anxiety shows up a lot. So it's an interesting article, and I did it in a way where I quote the scientific literature and then I make it make more sense. I use non-sciencey language. So anyway, yeah. And I don't know if it's, let's see, I've probably got like 10 minutes left. I'm going to see if any of you guys had any questions, but I think that's the end of my rant. Okay, Brittany says over on Facebook, is there anything you can do about yellow nails? It depends on why you're getting yellow nails, but if they're turning yellow because you use polish, so that's sort of that long-term yellow staining, that is because of wearing all of these lovely high pigmented polishes. And remember how I was saying, that our nails are porous, that there's layers, and two things can get through. Water. Our nails absorb 1/3 their weight in water, which is why they get all swollen and soft and mushy when you get out of the shower. And then also certain oils. And actually, so like our nail bed, the pink nail bed actually pushes moisture, water, and body oil up into the nail plate. And that's what actually causes it to turn transparent, which is why it's pink. You're seeing the pink nail bed underneath. So those things can penetrate into the nail plate. Jojoba is actually a wax ester. It's not an oil. So it actually never expires. Isn't that interesting? Now the other oils do, so when you mix jojoba with the other oils, now you're dealing with the shelf life of those oils. But jojoba is a great carrier, and it can help pull other larger molecules in to the nail plate. And so then your blend of oils does make a difference. And so since a good percentage of your body oil is a wax ester, it makes sense that what comes up can go down, and yeah. So the yellow is really just those pigments getting into the top layers, which is why it's also very important to not scrub your polish as you're removing it. So that's why we had our manicure clips, so that you do not have to scrub. You put a piece of cotton on, and then you clip that on, you let it sit, and this is why they're called soak and swipes. So you soak, and swipe. You're going to use firm pressure, and you're going to pull it off, and all of your polish will be gone, and you will have not scrubbed those dissolved pigments into the top surface of your nail plate. And over time, it just starts to get yellower and yellower. Why yellow? I don't know. My guess is that there is something in polish that's helping to leave that yellow pigment. And then you'll find a whole bunch of articles online that say, if your nails are yellow, you should just buff out the yellowness. Okay, let me go to this one. If you have ridges, that's the thickest part of your nail plate. It's the grooves in between that are the thinnest. So what are we doing if we're buffing out that color? We're buffing out the thickest part of our nail plate to match the thinnest part of our nail plate. And then as they yellow or stain, we continue to buff. And then you continue to take more layers. And the average person has about 50 layers. If you're going to take 2 or 3 layers with every buffing, it's not going to take long before you don't have much. So you don't want to do that. Don't buff. So if it's related to polish, a lot of people are like, you should take a break so that you don't have, so you can, the yellowing can stop. Well, taking a break isn't going to make the yellowing stop. It's just going to be there. You have to wait for it to grow out. So that's 4 months. And now you've taken this break and you've exposed your naked nail plate to a whole bunch of water absorption. And now they're going to be even weaker and they're going to start peeling and all of the things. And so don't worry about the yellow staining. Just cover it up with a nice, pretty color. That's what I do. Okay. Let me see over here on Facebook. Oh, Kelsey, you asked such a good question. I have heard now that gel curing lights are looked at for causing melanoma cancer if you are using the UV light like a tanning bed. Is that true? That has actually now been scientifically proven that you have to sit in a lamp, under a lamp with UV for 200 hours to equivalent, oh man, that would equate to about 15 minutes out in the sun. There is no damage that that's going to do. And it's just, this is the, oh, well, it's UV. Oh, it's like a mini tanning bed. Oh, tanning beds have been proven to be bad and cause cancer because people have gotten cancer from using tanning beds. So therefore, these curing lamps must be the same. No. And this is the kind of logic that drives me and a lot of other people wacko. Because it's just, the logic doesn't work. A plus B is not equaling C. Okay. Let's see. Did anybody ask questions before I turn into a pumpkin? Okay. Wow, not very many questions. You guys have been listening to me. Thank you. Maria. Nope, answered that one. Oh, you guys are so nice. Somebody was like, I have to go run my dog to the groomer. So if you have had to cut out or whatever, you guys can catch this in the in your stories on Instagram. I think and Facebook has stories now too. Hopefully we're gonna save it all. We'll make sure it gets saved. Do we ship to Norway? Yes, we do. We ship globally, except to United Arab Emirates, however you say that. For some strange reason, one of the wealthiest countries on the planet has a terrible, terrible mail system. And so we don't ship there because every time we have, the order's been lost. And then the replacement order has been lost too. And we were finally like, sorry, we can't ship to this country. But everybody else, it all works. It's great. So yes. Okay, there is my 2-minute warning. Oh, see, Corey gets in there and answers this. So yes, we ship. Let's see, anything. Okay, polygel, yes. Okay, that was the one that's the blend of gel and so Mommy Desi, you can find her. She's asking about who it is that I was talking about. I don't want to, that's not my place to say who it is, but oh, somebody says love the lipstick. Thank you. Show me your nails. Hopefully you got that. They are naked and I need polish. Breathe on a breathe. I love it. You guys are so nice. Dolly says, okay, I've got 56 seconds. If oil can soak through the gel, wouldn't it ruin the nail? If it could, wouldn't it ruin the nail to polish bond? It would if it could. Okay. So a lot of you made some really, really great points, but I know that Instagram's going to cut me off. Okay, so where can you find all the things? You can find my articles over at nailcarehq.com, and we're starting to put some over on the blog at myblisskiss.com. Trying to keep those short. You can find our support groups. Also, just go to myblisskiss.com. We've got all of the links to all of the things, and we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and anyway, I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye.